Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel, Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, broadcasting from right here in New Jersey at the Jersey Shore. I've got a gift request, and this is the 14th part of Bill Anderson's 50th anniversary of Country Family Reunion. And this is a consequence of a series of gifts that funRonni has made to the channel. So, Ronnie, thank you for this gift and this request. And I love these things. I love seeing Vince interact with the crowd because he's such a good MC, let's put it that way. But Bill Anderson's history is quite, that's just an incredible, beautiful, wonderful, extended history of songwriting and interaction with artists and Country Family Reunion and stuff. So I'm going to swap my hat out that Dave and Christine Emsweiler gave me. Set it back here right next to the clock that Dave and Christine Emsweiler sent me. And Bucko and I are going to watch this one. So here we go.
Kind of rewrote a little bit of it, but it's okay, Bill. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Con Hunley.
That's the way I meant to write it.
Oh, but you know, Bill, that's what's wonderful about your
And
song.
you sang it pretty darn well.
The interpretation
I
can go
appreciate that a lot.
in any direction, really. Just like this R&B, blues, you know, and you've got other ones, The Corner of My Life. Remember that song? That it could be done pop. That's what I love about your writing.
Yeah, you can do a great song any way you want.
Yeah.
Any way you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They'll stand up no matter what
That's
kind
right.
of time frame you want to put it in. And, you know, hearing a great traditional country song, you know, that was its intention and its birth and all that. But hearing it in a soulful way is a different way. It took Ray Charles to teach us
Yeah.
how much soul was in
You're
country
right.
music.
Yeah.
You know, he took so many great songs and made these great records with soulful arrangements. And unlike anybody would have ever expected to hear a Don Gibson song or a Hank Williams song or any of that thing. And that's what it takes. That's what creativity is all about interpretation and different ways to do it. And that's once again testament to great songs.
Somebody needs to check his DNA.
Not going to say much to that.
Yeah.
That's what Charlie Brown told me one day. He said, "You sound like one of the other boys." But no, it is
Like
a
a
great
brother
song,
man.
and I just appreciate the opportunity to go in and talk to Bill about it and everything, and be able to kind of put my feelings and touch on the song. It's a fabulous song, and I love you, Bill. Thank you
Love
so
you,
much.
Con. Thank you, man. Great job.
I was right. When I was listening to it, I said, this is really an R&B song. And I was right.
Great.
The other thing about someone taking a song like that and making it so different is what Ray did was the same thing. He brought a whole new audience to country music that did not exist. All of a sudden, people go, "Hey, these are country songs? These are great," you know. And I think that anytime anybody from outside our world enters in to do something, you know, it's pretty remarkable what can happen. I remember Elvis Costello came out to play the Opry one time, and he's a really good pal of mine, and somebody was grousing a little bit about him being on our stage and this and that, and I said, "I'm going to tell you something." I said, "He knows more about our music than I'll bet you do."
That's probably true.
And
Wow.
He cut a great record. You remember the old song that Charlie and Ira did of mine called "Must You Throw Dirt in My Face"? The last person in the world that you'd ever think of singing that song would be Elvis Costello.
Exactly
But
right.
he recorded it, and he made it his own. And I was thrilled with that. Really
And I
proud.
think anybody outside of our genre that looks in, what they're looking for is the most honest and the most authentic thing that we can produce. I think oftentimes we have run from what we are. We always we want to be this, we want to be that. I go, why don't you want to be what this is, man? Because what this is as good as it gets.
Vince, you can flip that coin too. Think of all the songs that Chuck Berry wrote that have been recorded by country artists.
Amen. You know, once again, the testament to a great song. You know, you can do it any way you want.
Well, I still think
still is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard.
No question.
I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it on the radio right now, and it just reminds me all over again what a great record that is.
Owen Bradley, I'll give him so much credit for that record because he worked so hard to get that little sound of the Anita Kerr singers who did the still, I'm talking about my record, the original record. And he worked so hard to do that, and he put a couple of those little passing chords and things in there that just really went so far towards making that what it was. I've always thought the song was just pretty vanilla, but
It still tears my heart out. The recitation, when that record was out, I was in the recitations myself. I had out a record way back in 62, 3, somewhere, called Shame on Me for Hurting. It had a long recitation in it. And when I finally got around to where I met Bill, I said, Bill, you and I are the only two people I've ever met who talked their way into the top 5 pop charts and sang their way out.
That's cool.
I believe George Hamilton had a comment.
First time I met Chuck Berry, 1959, I was going to Australia to do a tour with Chuck Berry and Bobby Darin. And it was before the jets. It was a propeller thing. And I was sitting back in the coach, and I heard the Louvin brothers coming from first class. Kind of ironic. I was in the back of the bus, and he was in the front of it, And I heard the Louvin brothers coming, and so I asked the stewardess, I said, I'm hearing country music coming from first class. And she said, yeah, Chuck Berry's up there. And I said, can I go up there for a minute and speak to him? And he was stretched out. He had the seat leaning back like that, Charlie, and had the seat in front of him forward. And he had a little battery-operated record player, and he was playing the Tragic Songs of Life, an album by the Louvin brothers. And I said, Mr. Berry? And he said, yeah. I said, my name is George Hamilton IV. He said, oh, yeah, you're going to Australia with me. I said, yes, sir. I said, could I ask you a question? He said, sure. I said, I'm surprised to hear Chuck Berry listening to country music. He said, why is that? I said, well, I just never pictured you being a Louvin Brothers fan. He said, did you ever listen to Johnny B. Good? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, that's a country song.
It's true.
Wow. Chuck Berry asked me on 2 different occasions if I could get him on the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
I never could, but
I got his autograph one time when I was living in Los Angeles, and we were at the same agency, and I was excited. I was a young guitar player, and I love Chuck Berry and love all his songs. And I got the only thing I had to sign was my parking receipt ticket. So I had Chuck Berry's autograph. Man, I was fired up. And I was only in the office for about an hour, so my parking bill was going to be about 75 cents or $1 or whatever. So I went to pay the man, and he says, and I said, can I keep the ticket because I got Chuck Berry's autograph? He goes, it'll cost you $36. He says, because that's the maximum. I can't let you have the receipt. I said, but man, I got Chuck Berry's autograph. And he goes, it's going to cost you $36. And I said, well, you just bought a Chuck Berry autograph. I didn't have $36. But that's, once again, we talk about great songs. And in the room, Larry Butler, great record producer. Also, Buddy Cannon is here. Another, when people talk about Buddy Cannon, he's produced a lot of records over the years. And most notably recently, all the Kenny Chesney stuff. And when Buddy's name comes up, everybody to a man says, he's a great song guy.
Yeah.
Buddy is a great song guy. And we're so thrilled to have you with us, Buddy, and thanks for being here.
I recognized Buddy right away because I've reacted to a couple of Buddy's songs, but Mickey LaMantia, I haven't reacted to Mickey in a while, but he has said, Don, you got to react to Melanie Cannon, Buddy's daughter, which I did. And then there was like Marla Goodman Cannon, and one of Buddy's daughters. And Marla, I gave a 10. I remember that. I gave a 10 to one of her songs. But the Cannons just have it in their bloodline. songwriting, singer-songwriting, and Buddy, a big-time producer.
Yeah, thanks.
There he goes.
Everybody's been talking about all these great Bill Anderson songs. There is another song though. That Bill Anderson song.
Yeah, you do.
A few years ago, when Bill and I were first getting to know each other, he invited me down. He was playing a gig down in around Orlando somewhere, and he invited me to come down and take in some spring training baseball games, which I had never been to a spring training game, so I jumped at the chance. And in 2 days, I think we might have seen 5 games. So we were going to morning game, then driving somewhere else to an afternoon game. And I don't remember which day it was, but we were in between games. I was driving, and we were just shooting the breeze, talking about great songs that we loved and all that. And, I happened to think of another song. I said, you know what, that's something I never could understand. I said, I remember a song that Roy Drusky had one time, and I said, what in the world would ever make anybody write a song called Peel Me a Nanner? And he said, I wrote that one. And then he started laughing, so I knew I hadn't made him mad. So.
You really didn't know I had written it?
No, I had no idea. But
I think you went on and said it was probably the worst song you'd ever heard.
I might have said that.
And you're right.
But I have since heard one worse. So
And you're right.
no longer that. No, it's not. It's just a sign that it's a hit because I remembered it. And it had been, 25, 30
Early
years.
60s,
Yeah. But I would like to torture you with my version of that song if I could.
Awesome. Oh, boy.
He's going to do Peel Me a Nanner?
Actually, I'm the only guy with guts enough to sing it, I think.
Yep. Vince is cracking
the only
up.
one that knows it.
Yeah, the only one that remembers
Do
it.
you?
All right.
Get the harmony.
Peel Me a Nanner.
There I was in all my innocence, loving you with all of my might. Come to find out I didn't have any sense. You had a different darling every night. Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, I'll come swinging from a coconut tree. Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, you sure made a monkey out of me. I gave you kisses, I gave you loving, tried to please your every whim. It all added up to a big bad nothing. Last night you up and ran away with him. Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, I'll come swinging from a coconut tree. Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, you sure made a monkey out of me.
The backing vocalists are laughing.
Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, I'll come swinging from a coconut tree. Peel me a nanner, toss me a peanut, you sure made a monkey out of me.
This is actually good writing.
Hey, Vince, I have a
They
question.
knew it.
Yes, sir.
Bill could tell you just about a little bit about every song that he's written, where it come from, and how. I'm anxious to find out where that one came from.
You know something? This will probably really strike you funny. It took
The
me.
song does.
It took me longer to write that song, I think, than any song I ever wrote. I had the chorus for about 3 years. I ran around with that. Peel me a nanner and toss me a peanut. I had that in my head for 3 years, and I could not figure out how to put a verse with it. I mean, the chorus was so ridiculous. And the verse, you had to write something that was a little bit off the wall. And one day I'm just driving the car after about 3 years, and it hit me. And that's one of my favorite rhymes I ever wrote, the opening line of that song. There I was in all of my innocence, loving you with all of my might. Come to find I didn't have any sense. I rhymed any sense with innocence. I said, that's bad enough to go with that chorus. I'll stick with it.
Bill, we was over in Branson with a grand.
Well, I'm gonna leave it there. That's about 15 minutes. Oh my God, this was good. Part one of this episode was slower. I mean, we had an R&B song in there and all that, and there were some funny moments in it, but this was good, Ronnie. And it inspires me too, because I have a lot of songs, lyric songs. I probably have variations of 300 songs in various stages of development. Some are just like the idea, just like what I might title it, and then flesh it out. Like he said, he had one line, but he didn't know how to flesh it out. And then, but others I have are just peel out all these verses and all this, and then of course I have a folder on my laptop, on my desktop here, that just says song lyrics, rough drafts. And some are more refined. Those are I've worked on, and they're like good lyrically, but instrumentally I'd have to set music to it. But anyway, I learn a lot by hearing, like, yeah, I know how it works. I'm no different than Bill, except for the fact that he's famous and made his mark in music. But in the process of writing, the psychological part of it, the stamina part of it, the creative part of it is exactly the same. There's a reason why a song like In the Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics, which I think they recorded in their garage for $200 or something like that, was a #1 hit. Like, and everybody knows that song to this day. Because the process is the same. You still need a good song, though. And Vince kept hammering that point home, that no matter what genre a good song goes in, it'll be a good song in another genre. That's just the nature of a good song, good story. So there we have it. Try getting Peel Me a Nanner out of your brain. That's actually very, very creative, though, because you made a monkey out of me. And rhyming innocence and any sense, that was good. I picked up on that immediately. And then then Bill commented on it later. I'm like, yeah, when you work with words, you kind of know it's not so easy to do certain things. It's ballsy to try rhyming other things. And anyway, Peel Me a Nanner. All right, guys. You can thank funRonni again for that. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.
He cut a great record. You remember the old song that Charlie and Ira did of mine called Must You Throw Dirt in My Face? The last person in the world that you'd ever think of singing that song would be Elvis Costello.
Exactly
but
right.
he recorded it, and he made it his own. And I was thrilled with that. Really
And I think anybody outside of our genre that looks in, what they're looking for is the most honest and the most authentic thing that we can produce.